Donald Patrick Caldwell was born on October 10, 1943, the same day that Chiang Kai-shek took the oath of office as President of China. He was born into a world torn apart by war. Pat, as he was called, was born in Washington and then later moved to Berwyn Heights, Maryland, which is very close to the University of Maryland. His father owned an appliance repair business. He had a brother named Ronald and 3 sisters. His younger brother played basketball, and Pat went to as many games as possible. When Pat was young, he went to Holy Redeemer School and then high school at DeMatha Catholic High School, where he was involved with the school fraternity. He graduated in a class of 70 young men and then went on to Montgomery Junior College. After Montgomery Junior College, Pat went to the University of Maryland and studied business. While Caldwell was at the University of Maryland, he was a big fan of the Maryland basketball team and had a job at the University Ice Cream Parlor. At the time, Gary Williams was the basketball star at the University of Maryland, eventually becoming the team captain. He came back to the University of Maryland as a coach, coaching for over 20 years. He is currently the assistant athletic director. After Pat graduated from Maryland in 1966 with a degree in business administration, he enlisted in the Army and went to Officer Cadet School at Fort Benning. After Fort Benning, Caldwell became a lieutenant and an instructor at Officer Cadet School at Fort Eustis, Virginia. There were 3 platoons at Fort Eustis. Lieutenant Caldwell was in charge of one of them. Under him were about 35 soldiers. Lieutenant Caldwell led his platoon in physical training and helped them with their studies. He must ensure that they will all be ready to assume their leadership role in Vietnam. After this, Lieutenant Caldwell was deployed to Vietnam. His tour started on April 19, 1968. The Vietnam War was fought between the Republic of South Vietnam and the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, also known as North Vietnam. The United States backed the Republic of South Vietnam. North Vietnam, who is communist, was backed by the USSR and the People's Republic of China. One of the United States' main goals in the war was to stop the spread of communism. Lieutenant Caldwell was an infantry unit commander in the 27th Infantry 2nd Battalion, Company D, the Wolfhounds. In the Army in Vietnam, officers often had their radio man at their side, carrying a large backpack with a radio and radio antenna in it. It is likely the enemy knew he was coming because of the antenna of the radio man. Shooting at the antenna, they hit Lieutenant Caldwell. On August 24, 1968, Lieutenant Caldwell was hit with small arms fire while on patrol near the Cambodian border in the Tay Ninh province of Vietnam. He didn't survive long enough to be evacuated. Lieutenant Caldwell's tour in Vietnam only lasted a little over 4 months.